All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, trying to talk about real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, we got through the month of May. I want to thank all the patrons who really stepped up. You guys uh, were like you guys were the wind beneath my wings. All right, uh, I'm serious. My revenue stream obviously has taken a pretty big hit. It may have leveled off, um, although me being sick for the past few days, I am not putting out very good content. Not that I ever do, right? Because I've got all the haters out there that think I suck. But in any event, I'm trying to do content to keep things going. I want to thank the patrons for stepping up. I also want to thank my friends over at modernretrofm.com, who, by the way, are adding some songs that I've suggested to them because they play classic artists, but they play new stuff by classic artists in addition to a whole bunch of other music. And I made a couple of suggestions. And hey, assistant program director right here. All right. And before I get going with endless Steve Perry speculation on the internet, as usual, Neil Sean's Journey Through Time. This is really a spectacular collection. Somebody said that they didn't like the artwork. I get that. I totally Illuminati artwork. But the content is good. I'm pretty sure he couldn't copy the journey. What are they? They're called cherubs or whatever. They couldn't do that. So someone designed that. I would have said, how about you design something else, Neil? But it's the stuff that's in there. That's the important part. You got 3 CDs, a DVD. It's just a great concert and put out there by Frontiers Music. All right. So Steve Perry, I get messages all the time. Did you hear what so-and-so said about Steve Perry? He's going to be performing a residency in Las Vegas. Have you heard this? I'm like, no, I haven't heard this. Well, it was on this channel, and it was weird because his channel has a name kind of like yours. So when I Googled it, I got him instead of you. I'm like, well, that's really great to know, too. That made my day. I'm just so much happier. So you've got Steve Perry speculation out there, as usual. Las Vegas residency, by the way, would make sense for Steve Perry. He lives in California. So Vegas, not too far away. He doesn't have to travel. He can just hang out in Vegas. And, if his performance isn't all that great, you know what they say about Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, Like cameras wouldn't be rolling everywhere, right? But yeah, is it plausible that Steve Perry would do a Vegas residency? Sure. I've come up with all kinds of crazy suggestions about how Steve should handle this. Unplug stuff, sing stuff down a half step or full step or whatever. Call up your old buddy David Foster, maybe get a full orchestra behind you. There's all kinds of things that Steve Perry could do to actually pull this off. There's only one problem. Steve Perry hasn't made any announcements that there's going to be a Steve Perry residency in Vegas. Now, again, if I hear something, somebody who I know who is connected to Steve Perry, and I do have a couple of contacts, but they're, they deal in a lot of hearsay. And then, if you're wrong, it's just really bad. Whereas the Journey stuff, I pretty much can get that right away because I've got a couple of very reliable contacts there within the organization that are very helpful when it comes to new information about Journey. But I did a little bit of research. And, if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I'm not saying you should, and if you wanted to put a couple of words in there like I have, like the Real Music Observer, if you want to do that, I guess that's a good idea too. But there are currently 59,270 fans over on a site called Songkick, all waiting for a notification about Steve Perry going on tour. And they've been waiting for 28 years. here's the scoop on Steve Perry. On this particular website, it says last concert 28 years ago. 28 years ago. Actually, yeah, early 95 was probably the end, maybe middle of 95 of the For the Love of Strange Medicine tour, which a lot of people in hindsight probably wished they had gone to see, but Steve Perry was not in vogue in those days, which is sad, but that was definitely the case. Steve Perry is currently ranked 5,195 out of 10,000 as far as popularity goes, and he hasn't done a concert in 28 years. Not unless, of course, you consider like lip syncing at a Giants game or showing up with the Eels or I don't know. Doesn't count, right? We're talking full concert, set list, encore, that kind of thing. 28 years, but yet 59,270 people are waiting. So if you're going to start a YouTube channel, you could get 59,270 subscribers who would love to hear your daily speculation about Steve Perry because they're going to be holding out hope. And so even if you're saying stuff that can't be verified yet, I'm sure you're going to get clicks and views. And it's sad because I started doing this, back in 2017. And I think my first video was about Steve Perry and his return to music. And I was speculating, but guess what? I was right. A couple years later, Traces came out. But Steve said after that, he might tour. He didn't tour. Back in the VH1 days where he did this documentary with Journey about the breakup, and each side told their story. One part of the interview, Steve Perry's like, I've thought about touring. I'd really like to tour. So that was, I think, about 20 years ago now, right? 22 years ago. So Steve Perry, for many years, has been telling fans that he might just tour. I was hoping he would show up somewhere along this 50th anniversary tour with Journey just to say thank you to the fans. So the fans would get some closure. He doesn't have to perform with Journey because then, people are going to be like, can you just stay? Now that you've done this, can you just stay? First of all, it's probably not fair to Arnell. And I'm thinking Steve Perry doesn't want to stay. He doesn't want to get in between Neil and John. And until all the legal stuff blows over, I'm sure he doesn't want to be in the middle of any of it. But the speculation just continues about Steve Perry and a possible Vegas residency. So I'll give the Steve Perry fans a little hope, right? It's plausible. It's not completely out of the question. But so far, as I've documented here, Steve Perry for the last 28 years hasn't been on tour. And 59,000 people are waiting for a notification. So again, maybe you want to add your name to that growing list of people. And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, you could call it Waiting for Steve Perry in Real Time. Just put the word real in there, because that makes me feel really good. It's bad enough I already have this algorithm issue. Now it's just divide and conquer, I guess, right? So, all right. My voice, my throat, really in rough shape. I appreciate all the well wishes and the prayers and everything else. This is a great album. Go out and get it. Neil Sean, Journey Through Time, recorded live in San Francisco. Again, if you're a Steve Perry fan, go listen to this album, because Dean Castronovo, he's not Steve Perry, because nobody is, but man, is he good. He is just really good the entire show. And he plays drums, which is not easy to do at the same time. All right, people. Thanks for watching. God bless, and see you soon.